So here's the carburetor, and that little rod goes into the top of that black thing, and there's a slot on the top of it, right there where that hole is, and that's where that rod slips into. But I have a feeling it may not be the carburetor that's messed up so bad, even though it can't be too clean with all the junk in the bowl, which I did get cleaned up pretty good. There's a little bit of junk. I put carburetor cleaner in there. Oops, there's a piece I missed. And I wiped it out with a paper towel really good. Got most of that junk out of there. As you can see, that's a lot of sediment, a lot of rust in there. That's never good on anything because that'll get sucked up into the carburetor and plug up all the orifices. So let me pull this carburetor apart. My plan is, there's a little pin right here. Get it in a better position. There's a little pin right here that moves. You pull that out, and then you can move this float. And then there's the needle underneath here that lets gas in and out. It might be all plugged up too because the drain plug here was completely full of sediment. It wouldn't even let the thing drain when I sprayed cleaner in there. So I had to poke something in there and then clean it all out. I think it's clean now, but that hole was completely plugged up with junk. It's just a mess, but basically it's going to be getting rid of all this rust and sediment, and then the gas can go through. I've got plenty of spark, so let me work on this carburetor here. I'm going to move my camera back to its holder. It's my wife's. She uses it usually in bed to hold her tablet, but I borrowed it so I can hold my phone out here. Works pretty good. I don't have a tripod that hooks up to my phone. Shit in from the garage. Where's my other glove at, damn it? Huh? You might stick it on. No. Okay, so I took the electric start off. It's just held on by these two Phillips screws, one there and one there. And trying to figure out what else I need to do to take this gas tank off. There's a bolt here that might hold it on. And there's a bolt here and a bolt here. I think those are for the shroud. So let me take a bolt or two out here. The nice thing I'm liking about this so far is everything's 10 millimeter. You work on so many things, and it's 3/16 and 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch, and you have to have 5 different sockets and 3 different screwdrivers. It's just kind of a pain. But with this one so far, I've been able to get by with minimal tools, and I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Let me take a couple of these bolts out, see if that gas tank gets loose at all. I think I'll put the lid back on it so I don't muck you around. And there it is. Spill whatever gas is in there, because I want to leave it in there for now. Alright, let's see what we can get done here. Well, I ended up getting the gas tank off. It took me a while, not a long time, but on the other side, there's 4, you see those 4 holes, there's 4 bolts that hold that on. And once I got those off, let's see what else. The fuel on and off switch, which I guess it goes to the gas tank. Anyway, it's just held on there with friction, mostly a little clip there. So I just took a pair of needle nose higher. It sits right up against the gas tank. I put a pair of needle nose pliers in there and pried a little bit, and it popped off. So there's 3 of the bolts that I took out. They go over here. And maybe I only needed to take the bottom 2 out. I think the other 2 hold that shield on. But anyway, I got it out. Now, the trickiest one was the one right there. It's right behind the spark plug. I put a swivel on my wrench so I could get it in there and swivel a little bit. Otherwise, I would have had to take my spark plug out, and I didn't want to worry about dropping something down in the motor. So that's a 10 millimeter also. Once you take that one out, which is right here, the gas tank just pops right out. So I'm going to dump all this gas I put in here into this bucket, and then we're going to look and see what's inside of there. Probably a bunch of junk. It does have this shut-off valve here, and I have a feeling it's probably all plugged up with crap, so I'm going to clean it out really good. I'm hoping it's repairable. I don't have to replace it. Maybe there's a screen in there that's just full of sediment. Let's see what we have. So I got this elbow, the shut-off valve, loose.